What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another daily technicals video. In today's video, I'm going to be going over the trade that we took last night in GBP USD inside the premium signal group, as well as a market review for the trades that I potentially see unfolding tomorrow for FOMC. Keep in mind, I never trade FOMC or NFP news events because the price action that you get is really erratic and the market will spike up and down. If this is your first time seeing one of my videos, welcome to my channel. I post daily Forex educational and analysis videos, so make sure to hit that subscribe button right below this video. It's the little red button and the little post notification bell next to it. That way you're notified every single time I post a video. Alright guys, so now we're looking at the dollar index chart, and right here at the bottom I have a comparison chart on, and this is GBP USD. And the only thing that I did to get this was I simply came up here to compare, and then I just typed in the pair that I wanted to compare the dollar index to and select it, and then you can see it'll put the pair on here. So if you double click it, I just change it from bars to candles, and then I can compare the two so I can see if there's any type of divergence or anything between the two pairs. Looking at the daily time frame on dollar index, we've been talking about seeing higher prices, and we have gotten that so far, but last night during London session, I was looking at this pair here, and what I was looking at was the market whenever it was trading like this. So we formed a lower high on an hourly time frame on dollar index, and if you look on GBP USD, we formed a lower low. So this lower low should mean that price is going to continue lower. Well, by dollar index failing to make a higher high here, that indicated that dollar index is weaker and will likely trade lower, indicating that GBP USD should trade higher. And this move below here is just a stop run, and they'll likely start pushing up from there. So if we play and see what happened, you could see that the market actually traded lower, and that caused GBP USD to get a push up here. So this was the basis that I was looking at for outlining the GBP USD buy last night. And let's go ahead and we'll look at the actual chart, and I'll show you guys why I took the trade and where I took it at. So right here, this little red box is indicating London session, and you could see, if I just remove this, you could see that the market actually made a lower low right here in London session. This lower low that was made was the same thing that we were just looking at when dollar index made that lower high. So that indicates that GBP USD should likely get a push up. So this is an example of divergence happening in the chart. So if we zoom out on an hourly basis, we could see that we have this swing here. Now this swing made a strong push up, right? This is a pretty significant low because the market reacted really sharply, pushed away, and got out of there quickly. So if we draw our fib from the low to the high, we could see that the market came right into the 70.5 retracement level. So we had one entry opportunity here, another here, and one more here. And this was during London session last night, as well as when the divergence was happening. And also, the most important thing is we traded right into a daily ICT bullish order block. So this blue line right here is marked out on the bullish order block open, so 33463. So if we put that on here, so this is a level of support. Once these candles traded above it, this becomes an ICT bullish order block. And if you look on an hourly basis, the market trades into the blue line, which is the ICT bullish order block, as well as while divergence was happening here, and it was also within the Fibonacci retracement level. So all of those things lined up for a potential trade setup right here during London session last night. So this is something that you guys want to start looking for whenever you're looking for trades in the markets, because you could see it needs multiple things to line up, and one of the key things that you're going to look for is those daily levels to get hit. So the daily level was hit, and multiple things were lining up around that daily level, allowing me to know that if I buy the market here, I can likely trust it. A lot of traders were seeing this push down here as a break in structure or a lower low forming, indicating bearish price action. So you have to look at the dollar index as well to see what type of indications that's telling you and how you're going to base your trade in the major off of what the dollar index says in price action. So these are the trades that I took last night on GBP USD, my personal positions. And you can see right here is where there was the divergence occurring, and I went long here and took 50% of my position off here at 60 pips. Now, I didn't call it in the signal group yet because I wanted to wait for the break of structure, because that's what I teach you guys. So once we had the break of structure here, I said you could buy the retest. And some people may have gotten in here. I unfortunately didn't get in until about right here. And once the market started just kind of wicking in this area, I figured it's finding resistance at this ICT bearish order block in here. So I just went ahead and closed my position with only about 7 pips of profit, just to avoid having any more risk on my account. I did still have 50% remaining on, and I woke up in the middle of the night and closed it as it was trading down into here, because I figured since they came all the way back down here, they may want to just take it lower. Well, we didn't get that. The market just came back down, found support, and then shot back up. So I did miss this move, but I still closed this with some profit. So I closed this one here with about 17 pips profit. So locked in initially about 63 during London, and then once I woke up for New York session before going back to bed, I locked in about another 17 pips. So these were the positions that I took, and you guys know the reasoning that I took the position down here. And again, I called the one in the signal group here and expected 34.20 to be our target. And we did get that here during New York session for about 30 pips, but again, I wasn't in this move because I didn't stay in the market through New York session because I went back to sleep, so I just closed my position in case it was going to stop me out. And that's something you guys learn too. Again, as you have experience, you start to learn how to manage your trade, and you can see, I took 50% off here because I knew that, I had already had 60 pips in my favor, so I might as well lock in some profit, and any retracement, I can just add it back on. That's what I did here. As the market was showing weakness and looked like it might want to reject and go lower. You can even drop on a lower time frame and see this a little bit clearer. So whenever the market is just forming a bunch of little tight body candles like this and it's consolidating, it's more than likely that it could see a little bit of a retracement before continuing higher. So we did see that. We made a retracement. And if you actually draw your fib from this low to the high during the London swing, we came right below the 79% retracement level and then shot up. So that again was a potential entry for anyone who got on board that, but I wasn't. Now you guys know the reasoning behind the trade and the different things that you can do in order to find a trade setup, and also how many setups form throughout the day. So you could have sold it as the market traded down here, traded back up into resistance. So there's multiple different opportunities to get in trades. Since I use the dollar index, I primarily stick to anything that's going to be in sync with the dollar index. So I expected weakness on dollar index with the divergence. So I expected strength in cable, allowing me to buy that versus sell it. So as you can see, the movement to the upside all day in cable was huge, and then the downside movement was relatively slow. So this is the type of movement I like to participate in, and that is again why I entered that trade setup. So with that being said, let's go ahead and we'll move over to outline some potential ideas for tomorrow's trading during FOMC. So with dollar index, we have made this higher high, but the market hasn't really shown any willingness to stay above here. It just formed a wick and then traded lower. So if we're gonna go higher, I wanna see the market start pushing higher and not waste any time in this area. But likely what they're waiting for is FOMC tomorrow, and then we'll get some pretty sharp price action. So if we take it higher, I'm expecting them to likely come above this high here at 94.30 and right up here into 94.50, potentially back up into this daily ICT bearish order block level around the 94.80 to the 95 big figure level. And if we get a lot of movement, then ultimately what I'm going to be looking for is these equal highs that we've been talking about on a daily basis around the 95 big figure level. So if we get sharp movement, that's what I'm expecting. I just don't want to see the market find any resistance at this ICT bearish order block if it's going to continue higher. So I'm not going to be trading during FOMC, but this is what I'm going to be watching. I want to see if we can break through this ICT bearish order block, which would indicate higher prices, indicating that we could be selling GBP and Euro going into the end of the week. So that's something I'm going to be looking for on this. Now, if we do trade lower, I am expecting them to potentially come into this ICT bullish order block, coming in around the 93 big figure level. So there's some liquidity resting below here, as well as here, here, and here. So anybody that does draw trend lines, they're probably drawing trend lines on all this stuff here, and the market will likely come back through that if they're going to push this lower. So I don't see any indications of them pushing it lower yet. So far, everything is still indicating bullish price action based off of the daily, as well as when you come down to the lower time frames. So I am still expecting higher prices on dollar index, but if we do go lower, that's what I'll be looking for, is that ICT daily bullish order block, and see if we can hold that level of support. So let's go ahead and we'll move over to Euro and see what we could see unfolding in this. So we do have ECB press conference for Euro on Thursday. So this pair really may just consolidate even through FOMC tomorrow and see a lot of movement during Thursday during that ECB conference. So I'm not going to be personally trading this. I'm mainly going to be focused on cable, GBP USD, and any setups that I see forming in that. But if dollar index does continue pushing higher, we will expect weaker prices in euro dollar. As far as how low they'll go, I want to see what type of price action I get off of this ICT daily bullish order block here. So they're either going to find support here, or if the market's going to go lower, then they're just going to trade right through this. And this was just a stop run on these highs, and then they're going to likely send this lower, making a new lower low. So that's if we get the continued up movement on dollar index. But again, I need to see what happens with this ICT bullish order block here on a daily time frame. Now, if we move over and look at GBP USD, this here is what I tweeted out to the premium group last night. So there was a retest of this during New York session, and that was the buy setup. Your stop loss could have been below here. I was expecting to get this during London session, but we actually had the sharp movement up during London. Either way, the setup was still valid even later on in the day, as long as it was within the New York session, and this was within the New York session, and we did get a push up. Within 1 hour, we basically ran from 33.50 to 34.20, so about 70 pips. Nice little movement during New York session there. Now, if we look at cable on a daily basis, yesterday's candle, we really didn't get anything big at all in terms of a body. It's just a wick up and a wick down. So likely this pair here is going to either hold this as support and continue trading higher, or we're going to break through this and continue lower. So again, I'm going to let tomorrow's trading go through and see what type of price action we get, and if we can hold these levels in the majors as well as the dollar index, and that'll give me some indication on what they're going to do Thursday and Friday. So that's going to be it for today's daily technicals video, guys. Again, this is something that I do every single day for my premium group. I wanted to share this video with you guys though, so you can understand a few of the reasonings behind why I take my trades and what the things are that I'm looking for in the charts before I actually execute the trade. So I hope this video helps. If you enjoyed it, please leave a thumbs up. And also drop a comment below if you have any questions, guys. I answer all my comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
After this track, I might need me some lozenges. I ain't about to go soft. This rapping shit lately been pissing me off. Guess these words are kinda just at the tip of my tongue, but I'm still young and I hope I find the rhymes that'll live through time before that fat lady has sung. Cause when I'm inside this booth, feels like I rule the world. But I'll hop off my horse, hop in your Porsche, give it a